One of the many proposals for reducing the national deficit is to keep funds within the states rather than being processed through the federal government. In light of the fact that Oklahoma generally receives more federal funding than it puts in, what, if any, monies that now go to the federal government for distribution would you recommend remain in the state? Donna B.
Hi, I'm Donna Biba, and first of all, I'd like to thank the Garvin County Forum Committee for hosting this event. And I know a lot of forums like to make the candidates sweat, but I think Paul's Valley, you guys are overachievers. I'd also like to thank those of you who took time out of your schedules to come here today. Everyone in this room right now, you represent democracy at its finest. Now, in response to the question, we've heard a lot lately about redistribution. And I know for many that term has very negative connotations. But I would like to start off by addressing the reality of how this redistribution impacts our state. For every dollar that the federal government receives in taxes from the state of Oklahoma, we receive back $1.35. That's a 135% return. Oklahoma ranks 15th in the nation among states that receive the most federal funds per dollar paid in. And it should also be noted that our federal government spends almost 3 times as much money in our state as what we take in state taxes and other revenue combined. It's important for us to know where this money is being spent. Now, I know all of you probably got up this morning and said, I can't wait to get to that forum and hear that Bebo woman tell me all about numbers and statistics. But I think we deserve to know where this money is going. According to 2010 census data, $9.5 billion, or 39% of federal funds coming into Oklahoma, go towards Social Security. I feel that for any state to try to duplicate or replace this program with a state-run version would simply not be cost-effective. In addition to that, the amount of funds we pay in versus what we receive makes it clear that for the sake of our seniors, this is one program that we must continue to leave in the hands of the federal government. Our next biggest draw for federal funding is Health and Human Services, which receives about 30% of our federal funds that come into Oklahoma. This is another area where it is evident that our per capita return warrants the continuation of federal funding. However, while I do believe that this funding is important, I think that control over how that money is spent is a state's issue. Many states have received waivers from the welfare to work requirements in lieu of establishing their own plans to get people off government aid and back to work. Each state has its own strengths and needs, and programs that work in California or Massachusetts aren't necessarily what's right for Oklahoma. This is why I feel it's important for our state to have a seat at the table when deciding how our health and human service funds are spent. The third largest recipient is the Department of Defense. This one consumes nearly 11% of our federal funds within our state. And I feel that this one is fairly cut and dry. The federal government should be tasked with the majority of funding for our military. We have 2 bases within the 4th District, and the funding that they receive must be protected. To tamper too much with these budgets right now would be catastrophic for the communities that depend on these jobs. Now, I want to hurry up and get past the numbers before I run out of time here, or put anyone to sleep. The final 20% of funds coming into Oklahoma goes towards the Department of Education, Department of Transportation, various grants, aid, and other smaller agencies. I think it's clear when comparing the amount that our state receives versus the amount we pay in, it's clear that we greatly benefit from this federal funding. And for the foreseeable future, whether we agree with it or not. We are reliant upon those funds. I do, however, feel that keeping more money within our state should be a priority. And I think the best way to achieve that is to permanently extend tax cuts for working Oklahomans. We are the ones who drive our economy. By making tax relief permanent for our workers, it is my hope that we will see more of these dollars going back into our communities. The dollars that we spend within our communities stay right here in Oklahoma. I'm gonna wrap up really quick. We as individuals have the power to support our state and local economy. As we drive up the demands for products and services, employers find it profitable to create more jobs. I personally made a commitment to Oklahoma business owners at the start of my campaign. All of our campaign merchandise and literature has been purchased through locally owned independent small businesses. We had many offers from big out-of-state businesses, and it would have been cheaper, and I had people advise me to go ahead and save the buck. But I stuck true to my promise. It's not always easy to keep your word and do the right thing, but my heart and my loyalty is to our state and our business owners. And I hope I can count on your support on November 6th. Thank you.
Thank you.